Hello, my darlings. Today, we're going to talk about a very, very interesting, important, crucial thing that all of us women need to understand about the masculine principle itself, the masculine energetic principle itself. This is something a lot of us women miss out on, are not aware of, and might have forgotten. So maybe this video has come to you at the right time as a good reminder. Before we dive in, my name is Eliandra and this is the Apsara Academy. Welcome. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel if you like learning about topics related to femininity, feminine energy, relationship dynamics between the masculine energy and the feminine energy, money, feminine energetics around money, money in relationships, and feminine spirituality. So if any or all of these topics are interesting to you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my world. All right, so what are we talking about here, ladies? Today we're talking about the fact that the masculine principle, the masculine energy, might not be aware of itself. So there might be conflicting messaging around this concept that I'm going to share with you out there in the world. For some of us, it might not make sense initially. So I want you to stay with me till the very end here. All right. It might sound counterintuitive. It might sound confusing. It might even sound off for some of us. It might be contrary to what some of us even believe. Okay. So stay with me though. Okay. This is what it is, ladies. As you might see it in the thumbnail and the title, the masculine principle does not like desperation coming towards it from the feminine principle. Okay. In all honesty, the masculine principle does not like clingy, wanting, needy, desperate, importance. All of these energies, all right, these are importance energies placed on itself from the feminine principle. Okay. Interesting, isn't it? It can take a little bit of it now and then, of course, but too much of it, it's such a downer. It's very unattractive, and it repulses the masculine principle away. It just like it might annoy it, it might anger it, and it just will want to shy away, and it's not attractive, it's not hot, it's not sexy. Okay. So this is the truth, ladies. The masculine principle does not like the feminine principle to give it too much of importance. Sounds counterintuitive, right? Stay with me. It does not like the feminine woman to give it too much importance. Why? The masculine principle actually needs quite a bit of space, freedom, as it might call it. The masculine principle needs the feminine principle to be mysterious. It needs the feminine principle to be to carry a lot of mystique around it. It needs space so it can, if this is the masculine principle and this is the feminine principle, it does not like the feminine principle to give it too much importance, because then there is no space. It needs the feminine principle to be almost uninterested, so it has the space that it can bridge. It likes to bridge the gap. It likes to chase. It likes the space that it calls freedom, right? But if the feminine principle gives it too much importance, clinginess, neediness, desperation, obsession, all right, too much importance, there is no space for the masculine principle to chase. It's too easy. There's no mystery there. There's no mystique there. The masculine principle does not like the feminine principle to give it too much importance, ladies. I hope that lands. A lot of women do not understand this, do not know this. Even the matrix, right, the world does not share this core truth about the masculine principle to the world. In fact, lies around this are taught. Do this for the man, do this for the man, cook for the man, clean for the man. Be his therapist, be his mom. Chase love. Where's the space? Where's the space for the masculine to bridge the gap? Right. What are areas in which women are typically desperate towards the masculine principle? What are areas and spaces in which facets where the feminine gives too much of importance to the masculine? Okay. Commitment, marriage. Let's start there. Okay. Of course, to the feminine principle, the masculine adoring her, cherishing her, committing her wholeheartedly, legally, all right, to show her, so she feels safe, secure, right, is very important. But when she becomes desperate for it, the masculine runs away. So it's tricky, right? In a certain way, it's not tricky at all. It's super simple. So stay with me to know the simple, easy way through all of this, the feminine flow way through all of this. All right? It need not be a battle. It need not be a game, ladies. Okay? It need not be trickery and debauchery in any form. Okay? It can be super, super, super simple. So let's talk about the example of marriage, right? What if the feminine principle just says it as a fact of her life path, as her destiny, all right? As her need, as her desire, her true heart's desire, and drops it? Is not desperate for it. Let's say you're a single chica, single beauty tuning in, all right? And in my world, we date with intention. We date with the pure intention of legal marriage, of wedding, all right? True, beautiful, divine partnership and union, legal marriage, pair bonded for the rest of both of your lives, okay? We date with intention here. So how would this look like? All right, desperate and giving it too much energy for the masculine versus mysterious, mystique, giving it space, giving him the freedom. How would this look like around this desire? Okay. Maybe in the first couple of dates. All right. Okay. Let me talk about the dark side of showing the desperation, right? Chasing the guy and like asking him, do you want to marry me? When are you going to propose to me? All right. Or you going down on your knees and giving the guy a ring. All right. All of these things are going to work against you in the long run, especially if you're my kind of chica who's looking to create a soft life for herself and you want to stay in your feminine essence in the long run in your marriage with your husband. This is not going to work for you. All right. If you're a feminine chica who wants to create a life that's aligned with your feminine essence, your feminine energetics, then such behaviors will just put you in the masculine role and just polarize him into the feminine role. All right. Which has its consequences. And that's not what we are about here. Right, chicas? Right. So, none of those things. Giving him deadlines, giving him ultimatums, asking him if he's going to marry you, when is he going to marry you, crying about it, pleading him, begging him, warning him, arguing with him, fighting with him. All that is giving him too much importance. Remember, the masculine principle does not like being shown too much importance by the feminine principle. So all this is desperation energy, and desperation energy is giving it too much importance. And the masculine principle, though it might say something, though it might say that that's what it wants, importance from the feminine, what it needs is the opposite. Right? So desperation, pleading, wanting, needing, begging, asking, giving ultimatums, manipulating it around, all of that is like, nope, not for the high value grail queen that you are, chicas. Here we talk about holding the frequency of the Empress herself, learning and growing and healing and aligning yourself and becoming the Holy Grail Queen herself. The wife-coded woman archetype herself, the wife-coded queen herself, the Empress herself. And these two categories of women, nope, that's too much energy, too much importance on the masculine. What would you do if not that? Right? Right get-go, if you're a single chica tuning in, right from the get-go, not in terms of any manipulated interview type, oh, this is something I have to communicate kind of way, but this is the energetic stance you take in the dating game, right from the get-go, starting from within. I am dating with intention. I am dating with the pure intention of marriage. And that's beautiful and that's great. And that's my true desire. Owning it to yourself. And once you do that and you're aligned and peace with that, the vibe shifts. And then within the first few dates, or very naturally in your profile, this vibe gets emanated out into the universe. That you're not there wanting attention from guys through dating, that you're not there just dating because everybody else is dating because of peer pressure, that you're not there dating because you're lost, wanting attention, wanting money, wanting free food, blah, 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 blah. You're there with the pure intention of divine union, and you're present for it. You're not going to chase it. You're not going to give it too much importance in your sovereign, beautiful, wholesome life. You're present for it. You're desiring it. You're present for it. You're available for it from the right man, Right? Own it. Be aligned with it. And in your profile, in the first few dates, don't play any games around this, darling. Right? Just, this is who you are. It's as simple as, I'm Indian, I'm brown skin. It's who I am. Do I have to play any games around it? No. It is who I am. Take it or leave it. Right? So, how might that play out in the first few dates, right? the guy gets to know through the natural conversation flow when the moment arrives that you are in this dating game, you are in this jungle, um, looking for the right match towards divine union and marriage that lasts a lifetime. He and the way you communicate it is in such a way that that's what you're for. But that might not be you, dude. That's no one man in particular. That's my desire. That's my standard. That's what I'm open and gonna receive. And that's what I am manifesting. That's what I am about. But that need not be you. It could be you. It need not be you. That's the first checkpoint to protect your energy, ladies. And any little boy, or the go and look at the 4 energetic categories of men. So I'm talking about the lower 2 categories, the boy and the man. They're going to run away. They're going to filter themselves away right then and there. Good for you. Go ahead, live your best life. Right? So that's what I'm talking about. The masculine principle hates desperation from the feminine principle. Though it might say and manipulate you into thinking that that's what it wants, it doesn't. What it needs, a lot of times what we want is different to what we need, darling. All right? We might want 50-50 and independence, but what you might need might be a man who completely, fully honors you to provide for you fully. Okay? So a lot of times what we want might be different to what we need. And same goes with the masculine. So it hates too much importance from the feminine. Desperation energy from the feminine is not hot for the masculine. The masculine needs freedom to bridge. It needs space to cut across. It needs that chase that can only be created with space. And desperation energy does not allow him that space. How does that show up while you're dating? Or even while you're married, right? The speed in which you respond to texts. Or even remember some texts, or these paragraphs that women write, that shows too much importance as well. Either you're single, dating, or married. The paragraphs that you write to your husband on texts shows too much importance. All right? See, I'm not talking about perfection here. There's nothing called perfect in this life, but the majority of the time, 90% of the time, 80 to 90% of the time, let's keep it that way, you should not, the feminine principle should not be showing too much of importance and desperation for the masculine principle. All right? So, this is see, we think that what we do when we are not in the presence of the masculine principle is not going to affect the masculine principle. That is so false and so far from the truth, ladies. What do I mean by this? Even when you're not in the presence of your husband or this person that is you're open to dating, right? One of your suitors. If when you're not in that person's presence, let's say you're constantly talking about your husband to your friends or your relatives or online, or if this guy is occupying 90% of your brain energy, that is a form of desperation. That is a form of giving this entity too much importance, ladies. Even within yourself, if you're focused and obsessing about a guy, that is desperation energy. Energetically, you're like this. Might not be in reality, in physical 3D reality, but energetically, you are like this. The art of detachment. The art of letting go. The art of surrender to the universe and the divine. The art of patience. The art of let's see. The art of being super comfortable in between a yes and a no, between black or white. This is the realm of the wife-coded Holy Grail Queen, or the Empress herself, the frequency holder is herself. It's the comfortable feeling, is feeling totally comfortable in between the yes or no, right? Being able to flow in that space and being okay in that space. Not that you don't do anything about it, all right? For instance, I'm not asking you to be dumb and just wait patiently and just let go and surrender and no. Let's say you are a single beauty, all right, out there intentionally dating in the jungle out there. You have a certain frequency for intentional dating and marriage. It emanates out of you, okay? You don't give it importance too much, even within yourself, all right? This is something I had to learn. Story time. When I was single, I was not like placing marriage energies. When I was single and dating, I wasn't placing that desperation energy on any single guy. I mean, any guy I was dating, I wasn't putting it on him, but I was putting it on myself. I was holding on to that desire and that dream so desperately that nothing else in my life could take priority over it. Okay? That's not something the universe likes also. All right? Manifestation energy is all about, yes, desiring something, wanting something, doing something towards it, but holding it lightly. Your life is great without it. You're at peace without it. Your life is whole and sovereign and beautiful without it. That when you are in that frequency, that's when the universe, manifestation happens. Signs and symbols and things come to you. Have you ever heard of stories where women say, I'd given up hope. I desperately wanted a baby. I was doing everything, IVF, this, that, everything. But it wasn't happening. I was desperate. That was the only thing I thought of the first thing in the morning. The only thing, the priority, it took over my life. It was obsession. It was that level of importance I was giving that one particular desire or goal of mine. And nothing happened. It never really worked out. It was just like one heartbreak after the other. But then there was a time when I just let go. I was just fine with it. I had come to peace with myself, truly, honestly, that even if it doesn't happen, I'm okay. My life is great. I have this goal, I have this goal, I have this goal. I have so many beautiful things in my life. I'm grateful for it. And truly, I'm great. In fact, there is a tiny negative, what do you call negative thing? Like, even if it doesn't happen, you know what? Maybe it's great. Maybe I like it this way. Maybe I don't want it. A little bit of that. Okay, that's called the one bit of completely negative thing that you're totally okay with and maybe even wanting, you know what? wow, it's great if I'm single. I mean, I'll always have options for romance. I will always be open to infinite admiration and attention, and options are always open to me, and life, freedom, so many things are going to be open to me, right? So even that little bit of negativity, you like, oh my god, that's great. When you reach that level of letting go, of putting that, taking all that importance away, and you're completely balanced, completely at peace, and even okay, and even to a little extent craving that negative, that not falling pregnant, not having a baby for the rest of your life, and maybe that's great. You even see the positive of that. If you never get married, and when women, have you heard these stories, right? It's happened in my life. Story time. I'm sure you've heard stories where women had completely let go, and then they fall pregnant. Completely let go, and that phone call comes, the job comes, the opportunity comes. They've completely let go. They're totally fine with even they not ever having that in their life, and maybe even wanting that. Not even wanting marriage. I had reached that stage. There was a long period of my life when I was desperate for it. I'd given it, the idea of marriage, too much importance. And guess what? And did I meet men? Of course, a lot of men even proposed to me during that time, but it never really worked out for whatever reasons. Okay, a lot of in and outs, and like it never really panned out because I'd given it too much importance, and the universe was not like. The moment I let it go, the moment I was completely at peace with not having it, and there was a little bit of me which was okay, even wanting not having it, like really was loved that single woman life track that I could envision for myself. So the moment I came to, in my personal life, the moment I came into that state, that frequency of, yeah, it'll be great. It's a desire. It'll be beautiful. It'll be great if I had it. But if it didn't, it's great too. I see the beautiful life that I can have as well. And having a full life, my friends, my social circle, my dreams, my goals, the legacy that I wanted to create on my own, and all of those adventures that I was having anyway in my life, right? When I had reached that state, that's when the universe gave me my husband. What does that tell you? Even the masculine energy, the energy in the universe that provides for you, does not respond well to too much importance given to it, too much desperate energy on it, too much prioritizing energy on it. What the masculine principle likes is clear desires, standards, boundaries shown, and everything else like chill. The feminine is flowing. This is who I am. This is what I desire. This is what I'm focusing on. It's not from you. This is what, and even if I don't have it, I'm great. I'm living a great life. All right? And if this is showing some intention, great. If this is going off and something else is coming, great. Right? You're great either way. That is not giving it importance. That is not desperate energy. Remember, the masculine principle hates desperate energy. And a lot of us women make this another mistake, ladies. Mentally obsessing about a guy. That is giving masculine energy attention. Too much importance. Too much desperation energy. And whether you believe it or not, the masculine energy, whether he consciously knows it or not, he's going to sense it. He's not going to come towards you. He's not going to bridge the gap. He's not going to chase you. He's not going to give you that attention that you're so desperate for. He's not going to give you that clarity that you're so desperate for. He's not going to solve that problem for you that you desperately need solved. Because his spidey senses already feels that desperation and that over importance that you're giving him, ladies. drop it. Drop it. One of the art of the higher octave feminine principle is the art of letting go, surrendering. It's the art of flow. It's the art of having your desires, clearly stating them, clearly having your boundaries around it with self-knowledge, having your sovereignty, and living your holistic best life. And even okay if this is important, ladies, even okay and knowing you'll be at peace and you will still live your best life along a different track if this particular life track goal doesn't happen. That little bit of, that's like the cherry on the top of the cake. I hope that lands. The cherry on the top of the cake is the fact that you will actually have another great, beautiful life along another life track, even if this particular goal doesn't happen. You are that whole, you're that at peace, you're that great with your life. And then the divine masculine energies in the universe is like, I gotta bridge that gap. I gotta give this girl what she wants, all right, because she's moving on. It will bridge the gap. Okay, it happened in my life. The moment I let go of that desire within me, I wasn't piling it on any man, but every man I dated knew what my desire was. But the moment I dropped it and I was comfortable, and even part of me was super thrilled and excited to just have a completely different life track of a single girl, that's when the universe turned around and just like, ta-da, gave me my husband on a platter. Right? So the masculine principle hates too much importance given to it, ladies. How else do you give too much importance? Talking about him, complaining about him, worrying about him, this about him, with your, even when you're not in his presence. How many of us make that mistake? You know what would work energetically? When you're away from this man that you're obsessing about, doing the energetic clearing, spiritual, meditative work, going for that dance, playing that music and dancing, you know yourself, right? Do that art, cook, clean, get involved in that passion project of yours. Go and do that thing you've been putting off. Clean your room. There are so many things that just like can fill your life up. Put all your energies into that. Go and meet your girlfriends and stop complaining about your man to your girlfriend. Okay, there is a time and place that sometimes us we need to share, but just share and drop it. Okay, take it from me. The universe does not like this kind of energy, obsessive energy. Neither does the masculine principle. So if you're putting out to the universe complaining and obsessive and like complaining energy, universe thinks, oh, that's what she wants, and will give you more things to complain about. There is a time and space when a woman, a feminine energy woman, might want to process certain things by verbalizing it to someone else outside of herself. All right, from someone else outside of her journal, outside of her own introspection, outside of her own presence with the divine. There are moments like that. During those moments, pick and choose one or two high conscious women in your life, girlfriends, who you know has a maturity around all of these things. Okay, and because see, these vibrations spread and stay. So, or maybe like just pay and go to a therapist, or use AI in a wise way. Okay, so basically there is a time and space for venting and complaining and getting it all out. Okay, it is very good for us women, for our nervous system, I understand that, but there is a limit to it. You know when you're going over the limit, ladies, don't you? When that's what you're obsessing about, that's all you can think about. To such an extent, you go out with your girlfriends, that's all you can talk about. And when that's the case, the masculine principle energetically feels it. Take it from me. This is the truth. And he's not going to come towards you. What you can do instead is try to let go, release, journal, dance, do stuff that just fills you up. Go meet that friend, yes. Maybe complain about your man for 5 minutes, then deliberately drop it. Talk about good things happening in your life. And see what happens in your relation with your husband. The moment you drop mentally obsessing about him, I'm talking energetic mastery here. How else do women are desperate, right? And give men too much importance. Not having a life going for them. Before marriage, after marriage. Before marriage, just like I was, right? Waiting for marriage to happen, waiting for the husband to step in, and every other aspect of my life on pause, because this one thing had to happen, and only after that the other things can happen. That is very wrong. And that delayed my husband coming into my life forever. Right? The moment I shifted, like, I'm not going to wait for this. I'm going to go ahead, have a wonderful life, and it can come when it comes. Even if it doesn't come, I'm having a wonderful life anyway. When I had reached that space of peace, right? The same with your man. He's going to feel it. He's going to feel it when you have a whole life onto yourself, chicas. All right? Get involved with upgrading your health. Get involved with upgrading your beauty. Get involved in upgrading your room, your lifestyle, your wardrobe, your travel desires. If you have a passion, follow that passion. Read that book. Study about that topic. Get that certification. Get that degree. All right? Go to that gym. Whatever. I don't know. There's a million things that women would want. Go do it wholeheartedly. Drop it. Drop it. Drop it if you're mentally obsessing about the man. That's giving him too much importance. Okay? After marriage, if you don't have stuff going on for you, ladies, what stuff do you have going on for you if you're married? Husband, children, that's it? That's giving your man too much of importance. That's desperation energy. Have stuff going for you. I'm not saying have stuff going for you. That's outside of your husband, outside of his children, your children, right? That's what's going to create that mystique. That's what's going to create that mystery. And from the get-go, let the man, if you're dating, all right, let him know, because they might want you to play this role for them. But the masculine principle itself will hate you doing that, but they might, if they're like one of these tricky men, they might manipulate you into playing these roles for them, all right? The wife, the cooker, the cleaner, the baby machine, and all that stuff. But is that the only thing that you are about? Is that the kind of life that you truly want to live, chicas? Really? I'm sure there's a small minority of women that's all they want. Playing the role of the wife, cooking, cleaning, washing his underwear, everything, and making his babies and taking care of those babies. All right? Nothing wrong with that. If that's you, great. Go ahead, do that. For most of us, that's just a phase of our life. That's a season of our life. We are much more than that. From the get-go, while you're dating, the man's got to know that you have a full life. That is showing him that is not being desperate. That is showing him that you are whole, you are sovereign, you have a full life. That gives that gap, that gives him that freedom that he can chase and close. That keeps the feminine mystery. Space, all right? See, this is a beautiful saying that I will always remember, all right? Feminine energy falls in love through connection, right? Connection, togetherness, closeness. And that's how the feminine principle falls in love. The masculine principle falls in love in space. Let me say that again. The feminine principle falls in love in closeness, intertwinedness, togetherness, oneness, connectedness. The masculine principle falls in love in space. Physical space, energetic space. This is how you maintain long-term attraction, intimacy, heat, chemistry, sexiness in your marriage. Physical space, energetic space, which he has to put in the efforts to bridge the gap, and then you get your closeness where you can fall in love. And then after that, let it go. All right? Masculine principle falls in love in emptiness, in space, right? In distance. So in that distance, he will wonder about you, your scent, your sight, your beauty. He'll look through your texts. He'll look at your pictures. He will think about a beautiful memory you guys had. He'll think about your laughter that just makes his life so much better. He'll think about even your fights and how cute you were and all the great things. And he'll think about the visions and the life that you're building and all of your dreams. He will do that only when he has that space. And that will make him fall in love with you more. All right? So give him physical space, darling. Give him energetic space, my beauty. What does that mean for us? Being self-possessed almost. It means being self-obsessed almost. I know we live in a world that really makes that evil, and women like that evil. But then, that's what men have put out there. That's what they think they want. But what they truly need for their own health, for their own evolution and ascension and growth is not a woman like that. You can be that mother, that caretaker and all of those things, small amount of time. But the majority of the time, be that feminine woman who is leaned back physically and energetically. All right? Okay, one example comes to me. There was a time, this room used to be my second son's room. So after he left for college, this became my studio space because we had to use it for something. But until then, I did all of my work from our master bedroom, our space together. And definitely, I must say, after this space is created, where I spend a lot of my time now chilling, relaxing with my fur baby Bella. We do our own thing. We are in our own feminine flow, creating. I paint, I create, I make stuff. Okay. I do all my magic things and I do all my serious projects as well from this space. My husband has started coming, checking up on me, and our intimacy has heated up a lot more since this space was created. Why do you think? Right? I'm not asking you to go and create a studio room for yourself, though if that's possible, why not? Okay, but this is a practical 3D example of the feminine creating space. However, even if I've had this studio room, but I'm sitting here and I'm obsessing about my husband and I'm thinking about him, writing about him, talking to my girlfriends about him, complaining about him, la di da di da, it doesn't work. I'm here doing my makeup, doing my skincare, healing, I'm on a very deep spiritual journey regarding my relationship with food. So I'm like working on that, writing on my journal, crying, meditating, creating, doing my artwork, studying, reading. Oh my God, this is like my little cloud. This is my little cloud in between worlds. Okay? Definitely not thinking about my husband or obsessing about it. I don't even remember him. He's the one suddenly coming and knocking at the door, and you just pop by, very curious to see what we are doing. And the moment he comes in, like, it's like wants to bridge the gap, wants to ravish me, and like, why? It's because of the mental, energetic space that I've given him, and the physical space, of course, right? So the masculine principle hates the feminine principle giving it too much attention, too much importance. It hates desperation energy from the feminine principle. What it needs instead, the truth is detachment. The truth is unattainability. Attainability, unattainability. It's like this, all right? Attainability, closeness, love, connection, intertwinedness. Bridge the gap. All right? It's a constant, it's a yin-yang game. So you come together and you move apart. Come together, you move apart. You come together, you move apart. Right? So give him room, give him space. Stop obsessing about him. See, whether you're single or married, let me this is going to trigger some people. All right? But these are the truths, and I'm not going to filter it. Beyond a point, no one in this world cares about you. Beyond a point, if you have goals, dreams, ambitions, you want to do certain things, la-di-da-di-da, you gotta be the one who holds it, protects it, and creates it. Of course, there'll be people outside, including your husband, who might support it. If you have a certain vibration, the support will be a lot more. But at the end of the day, it's you, darling. Okay? There is a reason why in my culture they say you were born alone and you will die alone. There's nothing wrong with it. All right? It's a beautiful journey. Right? And in that journey, I know this might sound hard and harsh. Okay, but I'm talking the truth of life, darling. All right? Even your husband, your children, all of them are like planets in your universe. You are the sun. And all of these entities are just the universe. They come and they go. All right, the sun, if it just shines and if the sun shines all of its importance on one planet Venus, love, marriage, man, husband, which I did, okay. Planet Venus will burn to bits and it'll just disappear. It's not going to be there. Okay. Just shine your light on planet Venus and just like be the sun. Do your thing. right? So the masculine principle does not like too much of importance placed on it. It does not like desperation energy. Let me know in the comments. Tell me your stories, darlings, if you're called to. Share your stories of how things were, like how stuff, like when you just let go, it just came. There have been so many instances, right? I'm sure some of you might relate to it. Like when I was single and dating, like, right? I'll place too much of attention on one guy, and then nothing would happen, and then I get triggered, and then he let go, and I just buy fluid, and be like other things. And I remember a couple of times when my husband entered my life, and I was like, my energy was like, well, he was taking, he was pulling me towards him, and like we were starting to discuss future, things were falling into place, and all that stuff. We were on that roll. Or many of my exes reached out to me at that one particular couple of weeks before I said yes, before my husband. By that time, you sort of know, right? This is where your life is going, right? With this person, because you've reached that level of conversation, families get involved, all those things. But the question wasn't pop, but right? Like, when you know. So I was in that stage, but I'd not said yes yet. And I was also fine if it didn't work, but I knew it was going. Like my husband had already given me all those things. So many of my exes came back into my life. Why do you think? I'm talking like spiritual energetics here. So their soul might have sensed a complete cutoff from my energies, and that might have been like, what's happening here, right? And they reached out. So has this happened to you? You're waiting for a call, and you just let go, and you go about your life, and the call comes. You're waiting, desperately needing something to happen, you let it go, and it happens. So as feminine women, the Empress herself, who's the frequency holder herself, or the wife-coded queen archetype, right? The top two echelon of, we talk high-value woman. See, one of the things that she would have mastered is the art of detachment. Of course, through shadow, because of shadow, like trauma-related stuff, or fear-related stuff. No one's perfect. There are times when high-value women also get very desperate, needy, all of that stuff. But then they know how to, quickly alchemize and move the energies around. I know how to shift my energies in a moment's notice. It took me a long time to get here, but now I do. Okay? And I'm someone who's diagnosed complex post-traumatic stress disorder. Okay? I've been able to reach a phase in my life reach a stage in my life where I would say like 5%, 10% of my life is when I suffer with my symptoms, my emotional withdrawals, my stuff that comes up. All the emotional flashbacks, whatnot, and the trigger, my nervous system crashing and all burnt out, all of those things, my RA flare-ups, my sinus, all that connected. But the majority of the time, I'm at and when I'm in that time, energies are quite complicated, but majority of the time, the high value woman archetype, right, is in a state of flow. Detachment. Easily surrender, easily let go. Not that she's letting go of her dreams or a desire. No. Letting go of only one particular way of it happening. A has to go to B, B has to go to C, C has to go to D. That's not how the universe works. That's how a human language alphabet works. The universe works from A to D, D back to B, B to Z. You get it, the goal. Or whatever is part of your soul's journey and your life path. Right? So let's wrap up, my darlings. Let's wrap up. What do we learn? What do we learn? The masculine principle does not like too much of importance placed on it by the feminine principle. I don't care what the world says. I don't care what your family says. I don't care what your culture says. If you want to be an adored woman, if you want to be a cherished woman, if you want your husband to constantly be chasing you in your marriage for the rest of your life, if you want the heat and the chemistry and the raw sexiness, I want to rip your clothes apart and like ravish you heat in your marriage for the long term, right? If you want that soft life, if you want to play that feminine essence a role in your relationship, if you want to be a priority, if you want to be his inspiration, if you want to be his oracle, if you want to be that magic star in his life, his oracle, detachment. Detached and attached to yourself, your heart, and God. Right? With that, we'll end this video. I hope you found it of value. If you did, if you like my vibe, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to this world, share this with anyone, even if that's one friend, relative who you know might need this message. Share it with her. Okay? In my world, we talk about femininity, feminine energy, the energetic symmetry between masculine energies and feminine energies, relationship. We talk about feminine energetics of money. We talk about feminine spirituality. So it's a beautiful world. It's my world. If you want to be a part of it, don't forget to subscribe. I love you all, and I hope you're living your best lives.